The Wicked for Good merch has been rolling out and I went a little crazy, so let's do a haul. We have another Wicked for Good merch haul, so let's get into it. I just spent $475 at Ulta on Wicked for Good makeup products, so let's do a haul. I was so overwhelmed in there. I didn't get everything, but I got a good amount. I know in my last Wicked merch haul, I said I was done buying stuff, but I lied, so let's do another haul. I got some more Wicked stuff and makeup at Ulta today, so let's do a haul. To justify my Wicked purchases, they were on sale. I truly hope that this is my last Wicked merch haul, but I cannot make any promises. I think the Wicked era actually is coming to an end, so this is a final merch haul.
Universal Studios is not just promoting a musical anymore. They've gone full franchise chaos mode. Think like the final boss of merch. Over 400 brand deals, 400 brand deals, 400 different brands that are affiliated with Wicked now. They've taken a story about fighting oppression and corruption and turned it into, well, this. And somehow people are loving it, collecting it, showing it off, searching multiple stores to get their hands on a certain product, buying things they literally do not need just because the Wicked logo is plastered all over it. And that is exactly what Universal wants. Today, we're diving into how Wicked pulled off the most insane merch push in modern history, why it works on a psychological level, how it's part of a larger trend that we've seen with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and the ironic, almost tragic truth about consumerism drowning out the musical's actual message. So what does 400 plus brand deals actually look like? Well, let me give you a little taste. Clothes include leggings, pajamas, socks, scarves, and even ballet slippers. Makeup and beauty fans can buy eyeshadow palettes, lipsticks, and nail polish. Household items are fully represented with detergent, dish soap, candles, and mugs. Accessories range from Puma shoes to jewelry and phone cases, and food and drinks get the Glenda and Elphaba treatment with themed candies and specialty beverages. And honestly, that's just scratching the surface of this utter insanity. Fans have entire rooms like mini museums showcasing this whole collection. They will go out to different stores and buy all the Wicked merchandise because they're collecting it, which is totally fine. I'm not here after the collectors, okay? That's not what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about how mainly the message behind the musical has been overshadowed by consumer culture. But we also have to point out that the whole purpose of Universal Studios partnering with 400 plus brands is so that collectors and fans will buy and purchase all of these items. Even if they don't use it and just display it, that's primarily the point. Every product becomes a badge of fandom, a way to say, I'm a true fan of Wicked. Even the most absurd items like ballet slippers or laundry detergent gain significance because they're part of a curated collection, a personal shrine to the story they love. Speaking of stories we love, if you're new here, you don't know, I run a bookish podcast called Plot Twist Please with my sister-in-law Cass and her good friend Beth. We love talking all things books, hot takes, and debates. So if you're interested in that, the link will be in the description and there will be a little thing here that you can click on and it'll take you to our channel. We'd really appreciate it if you're part of the bookish space, if you would go and subscribe because we'd love to have you part of our community. Now, if you go on TikTok, my whole For You page right now is filled with Wicked hauls. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a fan of Wicked myself, but I feel like there's definitely people who are bigger fans of Wicked than I am, but it's never been like a part of my identity. And if that is part of your identity, totally okay. We all have things we love, but the hauls are insane. So let's get into watching some of these and then we'll discuss after.
Let's do a haul of some Wicked themed merch. Let's just say my Uncle Todd has connections at the Regal cinemas near me. So I asked him if he would swing by and pick me up a popcorn bucket if there was any left and tell me why he showed up with this giant bag of merch. First of all, huge shout out to Uncle. I love you. Let me show you what's in here. The thing I was most excited about and honestly really wanted was this Wicked pillow. It's plush. It is extremely velvety velvety and soft. It has Glinda on the back. My girl, I can't believe Ariana is literally everywhere I look these days. It is the best. The quality of this pillow is so good. And the next thing, of course, is the tin, which is what I originally wanted my uncle to pick up. I just think that the popcorn tin at Regal was superior. I mean, look at this. It's collectible. It has a lid, so you could keep this tin and use it for various things. It's very big, and it actually has a couple more little surprises inside. Let me show you. My uncle also picked up these Wicked pins. Those are adorable. He also picked me up the Glinda cup. This was the last cup they had. It was actually the floor model, so it didn't even come with a lid. I feel like the cup itself is really cute. I could probably find a lid to fit on it, honestly. He also picked up the Glinda training wand, which this is insane. I didn't even know they were going to be selling this one because I had not seen this at the stores yet. It looks exactly like Glinda's training wand from the movie. It's stunning. I'm obsessed. He also was able to snag a little Glinda. And then the last thing that I am so freaking excited about, and I had no idea they even had this, was the light up Emerald City popcorn bucket. Can you even believe this? It lights up. It is such good quality. It's so sturdy. It has Glinda and Elphaba right here on the front, the Wicked Witch and Glinda on the other side. Oz over here. The quality is just incredible on this one. I'm so freaking thankful that he picked this up for me. Huge shout out again to my uncle. I'm so freaking grateful. That is my Wicked haul.
One thing that really stuck out to me when she was doing this haul is how she said everything was amazing quality. However, just looking at the pillow and the popcorn bucket, they look cheap. They look cheaply made. So the standards for this merch is not high. If that's good quality, I'm sorry, that's not good quality at all. And the thing with these partnership merch things is typically they are not great quality. You're spending loads of money for a label because it's part of a franchise, but the quality is lacking. So you're not actually paying for the item, you're paying for the logo or whatever company or movie it's associated with.
I can't stop buying Wicked merch. This is all the Wicked merch I brought in the past week. I need help. Got a Glinda Funko Pop. Got this from Tesco and it was £9. She's in her bubble dress. So cute. H&M Wicked merch is really cute. This is Wicked sweatshirt, which I actually am obsessed with. I kind of undo it because I've been wearing it. Everything else I have is very Glinda. This is very Elphaba, but I love it. Got a big W. Glinda and Elphaba. And then on the front, it says Wicked. And I feel like it looks like you work for the stage crew. Oh, sorry, I worked on Wicked. I didn't, but I love it. The bits I got from Sephora. I got the Glinda makeup set. This packaging, stunning. Comes with all these makeup products. You get 4 products in here, which they all have little Glinda-y names. Metallic lipstick. Would you have been Glindified? Then there's one of the stick blushes, which I actually already have a load of these from Ariane Beauty. These are literally my favourite blushes, so I'm so excited for this hot pink. There is one of the Midnight Shadows. They're so underrated. It's called It's Good to See Me, Isn't It? So cute. Eyeliner pencil, which is a blue, most beautiful blue colour. Scandalicious. Of course, I couldn't leave without getting the lip oil. It's like adaptive to your lips. There's this like really beautiful pink colour and it stains, so it literally stays all day. Stunning. Do you see that? I got a few bits from the Lush Wicked collection. Really had to hold myself back because I could have bought the whole thing. So first thing I got the green shower elixir, which this smells incredible. It's like sweet and sugary. The worst description for this ever. It just smells like Wicked. Love the packaging for everything. If you slap Wicked on anything, I will probably buy it.
When she said, slap a Wicked sticker on it and I'll probably buy it, that's exactly what Universal Studio wants. That's exactly what they want. And she was a prime, I wouldn't say really a victim, but the prime audience, I guess you would say, for this kind of merch. She bought hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. Instead of being popular, you're gonna be dirt poor. Like whenever I was thinking about doing this video, that's how I was gonna open it. I did not. But yes, you are going to be dirt poor if you continue to spend hundreds of dollars just because there's a Wicked sticker on the items, especially if you use them as well. Like if you use them and they're not collectibles, like I don't know the longevity of that, if you're going to keep buying the Wicked products or if you just splurge because it's limited edition. I don't know. Either way, that's a lot of money to spend on stuff all in one go. There's one more video I want to show you guys, just the opening. I'm not going to show you guys the whole haul, but just what this person says in the beginning of the video.
Tell me why we're back here. Tell me why we're back here in less than 12 hours. Because they released new stuff. Like, they released new stuff, so we had to come get it. This is where we were yesterday, right? Look at this. Look at this. Come on.
So she was already there yesterday, but because they released new stuff, she had to go back and buy that stuff as well. Do you honestly see how Universal Studios is basically capitalizing off of this?
Did you know that you can pretty much freaking fill an entire house with Wicked merchandise and shiz? Let's take a look. You know what I need? A Wicked crock pot. Also, these cooking dishes and these spatulas and these kitchen towels. But what are you going to cook with them? Well, no problem. Let's take a look at that. As you can see here, we can make the wizard his very own pie with pink caramel, whipped cream, and marshmallows in it. And then after that, we can whip up some cookies for him and put some sprinkles on them. But what if I don't feel like cooking? That's no problem. We got enough sugary here to make your teeth rot out by the time that clock hits the 13th hour. What even are those pink and green ball cereal things? Good thing we have all these paper plates and napkins to eat it all off of. And oh Lord, these Stanleys, we know that the cops are about to be called at Target when these things get released. I got nothing negative to say about this one. I imagine that this is all the things that they use to clean the uplands, no doubt, mansion of a house that they live in. Moving on out of that kitchen and into the bedroom, let's take a look at the Pottery Barn collection. Well, it looks like we know where Glinda gets her trunks and all of her furniture from now. $1,400 for her trunk? And that doesn't even include all the clothes and shoes and that black hat that her grandma made her that you know she liked because she packed it. Nope, that hat's sold separately, and I really freaking wanted it. It's a pillow. You can get a rug, a chair, the lamp, wallpaper, because people apparently still use wallpaper. Let's fill that chest up with as much Wicked branded makeup and beauty products as possible. Maybe I'm wearing that REM Wicked palette. And last but not least, all the Wicked branded apparel and handbags.
People are so desperate to get their hands on Wicked merch, they have to have it all. Otherwise, what? What would happen if she didn't go back to get that set? Would she feel like she's missing out on something? Would she feel like she's less than a fan of Wicked? Do you have to have every single Wicked product to be considered a true Wicked fan? All in all, I think it's just a little insane. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. Going out of your way, especially during Christmas time, to spend hundreds of dollars that you don't have on all this stuff just because it's limited edition and because the movie came out and now they have all this new Wicked merch that they didn't have the first time when Wicked came out. It's not financially responsible, and people will say, it's my money, I can do what I want. But unfortunately, your actions do impact the rest of us and the economy, because if they see that this works, they're going to keep doing it. So speaking of that, how did Universal Studios realistically pull this off? Step one is brand saturation. They really diversified where they partnered with, who they partnered with. They did not just do a few tie-ins. They partnered with hundreds of companies across every imaginable category. Step two is TikTokable or Instagrammable products. Packaging, color schemes, and clever designs are all intended to be photographed, shared, made to go viral, and ultimately create FOMO so then other people will go buy it as well. Every friend who sees it becomes a potential buyer, which results in free advertising. And step three is psychological triggers. If you guys didn't watch my video on the Stanley Bear Cup, you probably didn't know what scarcity marketing is, or you just don't understand the psychological effects of scarcity marketing. So if you're not sure, go watch that video. I'll have it linked up here. But just to wrap it all up, basically scarcity marketing creates urgency through limited edition drops. And if you think you can't get those drops, it creates FOMO. And then FOMO encourages compulsive buying. And then identity signaling makes fans want to showcase their devotion publicly. Every unboxing video or haul post spreads the loop further. People buy, they post, and then repeat, and the cycle drives both attention and profit. The strategy is genius and also incredibly effective considering the amount of videos I've seen on my For You page and how viral they go, and it feeds directly into the culture of overconsumption. Now, before y'all come for me and say that I'm attacking Wicked, this is not the first time this has been done. I think it's the first time that people have really noticed how Universal Studios or production companies like that really capitalize off of brand deals and everything like that. Wicked is following a well-established blueprint that we've seen with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter came out a long time ago. The books came out a long time ago. The movies were done a long time ago. And yet new merch is still coming out. The difference is that this stuff has been basically created through a long period of time. It's not just like an overflow of products of 400 brands all at once. It's been years and years, maybe almost like a decade of products being released. So it's a little bit more gradual than what Wicked is doing. Same with Lord of the Rings. Same thing. Things are still coming out that are partnered with Lord of the Rings. But again, it's been gradually released. Maybe there's like a quick surge after the movies came out of merch with select companies. Overall, they are widely saturated, but again, it's just gradually been released and gradually been shown, whereas Wicked has just been partnered with literally everything, including Swiffer, all at once. Now, merch with Harry Potter, you've seen the house scarves, robes, special edition book covers with all the houses, wands, potion bottles, themed candy, candles, mugs, stationery. The Wizarding World also extends to theme parks and chocolate frogs and butterbeer, and then miniature collectibles, of course. Fans often fill entire rooms with merchandise that they've collected. And again, I'm not coming after people who collect things. That is a very real hobby. These kind of things are meant to be collected. The Swiffer with Wicked, debatable. I'm not going to be collecting a Swiffer, but the other things I can see being collectibles. Not the detergent, not the Swiffer. Cleaning products, that's a little weird. And then alongside Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings takes a similar approach. Fandom culture encourages display and collection, and ownership becomes a statement of that devotion. What makes Wicked a little different though is the sheer breadth of categories. It's not just clothing or makeup, it's a lifestyle ecosystem at this point. Every conceivable product has a Glenda or Elphaba tie-in. So this hypersaturation amplifies both desire and visibility, making it virtually impossible to escape the marketing machine.
So there's still a month before Wicked comes out in theaters, but we as consumers have been inundated with what feels like endless brand collabs. The ones that I shared here are just the tip of the iceberg. I didn't even include any of the clothing related ones. Now, brands working with film studios to create these collabs is not a new concept. They've been doing this for years. However, Barbie took it to a whole new level. When some of the initial collabs for Barbie came out last summer, I admit I was enticed by some of them, but as the summer went on and more came out, I began to think this is too much. Now, once again, with the release of Wicked, we are seeing this insanely high level of conspicuous consumerism. In my opinion, there is something really predatory and unsettling about the way that female-focused hobbies and interests are being commodified in this extreme way. This might sound a little silly, but Gladiator 2 is being released on the same day as Wicked, and that is a movie with a lot of fanfare around it. But you don't see any kind of merchandising in relation to that movie, as men will be the primary audience, and they are not marketed to in the same way as women. And yes, in theory, these products are gender neutral, but we know who the intended audience is. And maybe I'm totally reaching here, but something about all of this is just not sitting right with me. I think it's because we've seen this sort of scenario play out a lot in the last couple of years. So Barbie, the Eras Tour, Brat Summer, and now Wicked. It feels like capitalism is sucking the life out of all of these things that are synonymous with girlhood joy. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
So let's talk about why this works so well, the psychology behind it, because obviously we know that FOMO is a huge part of this, as well as just plain identity. Wicked is a monumental and also just a very important musical in a lot of people's lives, just because of the message it promotes. Maybe they connect with the characters. Fans don't just buy items for personal use or to simply display in their home privately, but they buy them to make content, to show off their collections and engage with others, because when you're part of a fandom, there's a unique bond that's there. And nostalgia and emotional attachment are also very powerful. Wicked has a devoted fan base over 20 years strong. So merchandise taps directly into these feelings. And beyond that, it's just a reflection of plain consumer culture, where love for a story is inseparable from purchasing products. The thrill of the hunt, the excitement of unboxing, and the status of having a rare or limited item all drive behavior. In many ways, fans are literally participating in a game of both devotion and display, which brands know how to exploit brilliantly. Now, here's the part that is both fascinating and tragic. Wicked as a musical is fundamentally about resisting oppression, questioning authority, and challenging societal norms. At its core, it's a story about Elphaba, who is an outsider, and she's literally standing up to a system that's built on control, power, and basically seeks to label and erase her. Glenda too represents the complexities of power, privilege, and perception, and the entire musical carries a message about critical thinking, individuality, and the dangers of blindly following authority, essentially a warning against the very structures that enable systemic control. And yet, when you look at the marketing machine around the musical, it completely contradicts what the musical is even about. Fans are encouraged to consume relentlessly without critical thinking. They are buying, posting, and collecting Glenda and Elphaba products, often items they don't even need. And unfortunately, this is not a celebration of critical thinking or empowerment. It's the commodification of fandom. It's turning a story into resisting oppressive systems into buying into a system that thrives on consumption and status.
Look, I love Wicked as much as the next person. Like, I really, really do. I love it. But the amount of brand collaborations coming out right now because of Wicked Part 2 coming out in November is gross. There's Olay body wash. There's Gain detergent. What? There's Bombas socks. Stanley. Squishmallow. There's glasses. Diff eyewear, I think. Some like Dutch oven thing. It's insane. Wicked is about authoritarianism and fascism. You have a leader who utilizes propaganda to scapegoat minorities to maintain control and power. Do not fall into the overconsumption because you love Wicked. Just don't do it. You're supporting large corporations, billionaires, and I think the most power we have right now in this country is our dollar. That's what these people care about the most. So if we can withhold spending just a little bit, we don't need every single thing Wicked, okay? Buy one thing to commemorate Wicked Part 2, please.
The irony becomes even sharper when you consider all the psychological mechanisms that are at play here, which we already talked about. But overall, the marketing strategy versus the meaning of the actual musical is completely conflicted and just overshadows what the musical is supposed to signify. The musical encourages questioning authority, letting go of the status quo, and valuing individuality, but yet the merchandise reinforces conformity. People buy because everyone else is buying. Influencers post because they need to participate in the trend to get views, and what once was a narrative about standing up against oppressive forces becomes a celebration of a different kind of societal pressure. The pressure to consume, to conform, to participate in the hype, and to validate your fandom through material objects. It's a capitalist irony that is so layered that you can spend hours unpacking it. And it's exactly why the conversation around Wicked merchandise goes further than just simply the fandom and into the realm of cultural critique.
Do I think the Wicked team is overdoing it with merch? I understand they want to make money, but I feel like there's so much and it's a bit overconsumption core, no hate. I totally understand this feeling of being overwhelmed by all of the new Wicked merch and feeling like, wow, I couldn't possibly get all of this even if I wanted to. And you're not wrong. There has been tons of beautifully made items for the release of the Wicked movie, and it is just not possible unless you're an extremely wealthy person to get all of it. I'm a collector who's been budgeting for this for a year, and there are still things I'm going to have to skip. And of course, Universal is looking to make money. This is going to be a hugely profitable franchise. The Wicked musical has earned Universal hand over fist billions. But there is another aspect to this deluge of merch. And to me, what this says is that the studio has extreme confidence in the fact that Wicked will be successful. We saw this with the Barbie movie as well. There was just an avalanche of things that you could get to tie into the Barbie movie. Everything was a Barbie tie-in. And I think that was because Warner Brothers was hugely confident that the Barbie movie would be a success, which of course it was. And I think we are seeing a mirror thing happening at Universal with the Wicked movie. As a collector, I don't mind it. It gives me lots of choices, and obviously there are things I'm not going to get, but I have a lot of options.
Now I know I'm going to push some buttons in this video, and I'm sorry if I do, but that's because Wicked has a strong fan base of 20 plus years, as we mentioned before. And you might wonder, well, why do fans get so defensive when you simply bring up the fact that, you know, this is overconsumption, or that simply the companies are capitalizing off of your fandom? It's wild how passionate some people can get when you simply point out the truth of the matter. But we need to understand, as people who point out the problems with this, that for them, it's not just about the product, it's about their identity, about the emotion behind the musical that they connect to, and also just the social pressure they might feel to partake in these trends trends and to purchase these products in order to be included in the fandom of Wicked. So I came across this video of this girl basically being like, why do you care? Why do you care what we spend our money on? It's not your money. God forbid people buy what makes them happy. This is my prerogative. So let's watch that video and just see what she has to say. But this is an argument that we've heard many, many times before throughout many spheres of overconsumption habits.
Oh my God, the wicked consumerism is crazy. Why do you care? Like, God forbid people buy what makes them happy. It is not your money that they are spending. And if I want to spend $10,000 on Wicked merchandise, that's my prerogative. Like, genuinely, why do we care? Why do we care?
She's definitely a Glenda girl. Just from looking at her, she's definitely a Glenda girl with the pink sparkles. I mean, if you want to spend $10,000 on Wicked merchandise, that's your prerogative, as you said. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, though. First of all, that's just a very bad financial decision that ultimately impacts the economy. But I get why people are so passionate about standing up for how they spend their money, especially when it comes to things like this. For many people, being a fan isn't just enjoying a musical, it's part of who they are. Owning merchandise, posting it online, and collecting items becomes a tangible way to prove devotion. When someone criticizes that behavior, it can feel like a personal attack. I'm sure when someone criticizes something we love, we all sort of get on the defensive, but it's not just about a Swiffer or a makeup palette. It's about their sense of self and social validation. Second, there's the emotional attachment. There's nostalgia behind Wicked. Fans connect to Wicked because of the escapism or the empowerment. People are not just defending a product, they're defending a memory, a feeling, or an experience that the musical represents for them. Third, there's social pressure and community norms. When fandom is performative, sharing hauls, posting collections, and joining online trends, there's an unspoken rule. You participate or you're left out. Calling attention to overconsumption can feel like breaking that rule, which triggers defensiveness, and fans might lash out because it challenges the social currency they've built within their community. And finally, there's cognitive dissonance. Many people know that buying $10,000 worth of merch is simply not rational, but they do it anyway because it feels good. When someone points out the excess, it clashes with their self-perception, which creates discomfort because no one wants to think of themselves as something different. A quick way to resolve that discomfort, though, is to immediately get defensive. Attack the critic instead of questioning their own behavior. Now, I hope this helps us understand why people will get so defensive, especially when it comes to us critiquing fandom merch. Either Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, Wicked, however, is a very strong one. And I think people are going to get even more defensive because they're buying a large quantity of things instead of collecting things over time. They know deep down that it's not a good financial decision. A lot of people go into debt for these collections to partake in the trends. They don't actually have the money to spend on these things. Who does in this economy anymore? But it feels good. They get that temporary hit of dopamine, and if you critique that, you're taking away their happiness, which is not the point. The point is not to take away their happiness, but the point is to dive into the deeper issues that this sort of situation, that any sort of fandom can create when merch is involved, especially on a 400+ brand deal level. Let me know what you guys think about the Wicked hauls, the Wicked merch, and just the consumer culture around like movie releases and merch being released. Let me know what you think. Have you ever bought into merch yourself for a specific fandom? Let me know. God bless you all, and until next time.
Welcome to Plot Twist Please, where we sip, flip, and spill the tea on books and booze.
I'm Beth.
I'm Susannah.
And I'm Cass, your trio of book besties, bringing the drama, the hot takes, and a drink in hand every episode.
Whether it's fantasy, romance, or total chaos, if there's a wild plot twist, we're talking about it.
We'll laugh, we'll rant, and we'll probably spiral into a tangent about morally gray characters.
Grab your favorite drink, enchanted or otherwise, and come hang out with us every week.
Because let's be honest, sometimes the best part of a book is spilling the tea about it. Plot Twist Please, streaming now wherever you can get your podcasts.